Hey guys, chapter 6 this week. I have loved interacting with you. I've been having a ball just messaging people and hanging out, and I would love to see even more interaction this week. I realized that I didn't tell you we're not going to obviously be able to cover the entire book this week or in the 3 weeks because I wanted to make this study doable where you weren't having to give up a lot of your time, but I also wanted to hit the highlights of a book that has just been so awesome to so many people. So, if you will, turn to chapter 6, and we're going to talk real quick about the shoulders. You guys are going to have to forgive me. You can't see much of my shoulders because I'm still in my pajamas. Our house is so cold today, and if you hear a child in the background, that's my little girl. She's out there jabbering. She's not unattended. Her dad is with her. Do not worry, I don't ignore her so that I can do Bible studies with you. Um, but I hope that as she gets a little bit bigger, obviously, she's going to be able to take a look at this next chapter because it's one that was convicting for me, but also encouraging. Um, because of my insecurity issues that we talked about last week, I don't tend to be one who sits up straight or proud and one of the things for me is that I don't like just sticking myself out there. And the moodrazor.com thing that Annie mentions after her fabulous wrestling story was just hilarious to me because really, that's really one of the top ways that I can raise my mood is to sit up straight. I'm going to try it this week, y'all. I'm going to get back to you and I'm going to let you know if that is the truth. And I think Annie's onto something though when she says that men wrote this list because ice cream and chocolate would totally be at the top if we had written it. Annie is so right. She talks a lot about having an empathetic shoulder, which I think is so important. Talking to friends and being there for people. And she also makes a good point that we should be careful about doing that for guys. That has been an issue for me in the past. I've had to learn the hard way. And being married, I have to be even more careful because I don't want to become emotionally involved with someone else accidentally. But even as single girls, I think we can send, not we, you, can send guys the wrong message. And so you should be extra careful with the empathetic shoulder. If you're really worried about one of your guy friends, like Annie says, it's probably a good idea just to go ahead and ask someone to check on them or him. And I think that would just be a good way to make sure you have all your bases covered. Not only do I want to talk about an empathetic shoulder today, I want to talk about a cold shoulder, which we all know what that means. And I was kind of shocked recently as I joined, a mom's group, that when I got into the group, I started noticing that I was drawn only to the people who had similarities to me. People who maybe dressed like I did, or talked like I did, or had a similar background as me. And I was really discouraged to realize that that was my tendency because I think I was missing out. And so I started making more of an effort to befriend people who maybe dressed differently than I did or had different family situations. Maybe they were single moms. I realized even though it's not supposed to be all about me with relationships, those people, they have a lot to teach me. And by secluding myself from their lives just because they were a little different from me, I was missing out on so many things. And they're really some of the funniest, most loving, genuine people and friends that I could have. So I encourage you, even if you're inadvertently giving someone the cold shoulder, just because you just don't hit it off right away. This week, try and reach out to somebody who's a little different, maybe even a couple somebodies, and let me know how it goes. And on top of that, I'm going to jump in there more this week on the discussion questions. And I realized on page 119 is where my book says to chew on this. You got 3 questions there, or 4 questions under ponder, and then you have some homework on reading. But my book is a little different from yours. Mine was an advanced reader's copy, so you may have a different page number. But just go to the back of chapter 6, and you will be all set. I'm so glad that each of you are here this week, and I am just looking forward to hanging out this week. So, y'all have a good one, and I will talk to you as we discuss.